Hey, greetings and salutations, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, your friendly neighborhood armchair philosopher. Hello, YouTube land and cyberspace. Okay, now, if you haven't been living under the digital rock, recently the Obsidian Media Network YouTube channel got flagged due to him doing a series of videos regarding a woman who happens to be a lawyer. Allegedly. That's according to what I've heard via Obsidian and via the lady that's the lawyer. I don't know her name. I won't mention it. But, well, I don't know it. That's why I won't mention it. Anyway, according as the story goes down, he was cited for harassment of this woman and or enticing others to do so. That's at least word on the street is. The details are unbeknownst to me as to what constituted the harassment or what he did exactly, because I don't really follow him closely. But I do follow his videos, but I didn't know the full ins and outs of every single video he's ever made. So, what I have to say has sort of been patched together through bits and pieces and people weighing in, of course. Now, not only is Obsidian the only one that has felt the lash of female indignation, there are several other YouTubers, black male YouTubers, whose channels discuss issues regarding men's empowerment, men's rights activists, MGTOW, etc. They too have been under the chopping block. Now, how do I, as your friendly neighborhood armchair philosopher, feel about it? Now, although the U.S. Constitution does guarantee us freedom of speech, one must always be aware that rights are accompanied by this thing called responsibilities. Even Marvel Comics' Amazing Spider-Man taught us that with great power, there must also come great responsibility. So, when we make these videos and we give vent to our views, I think there needs to be a little bit of responsibility in how far we take that. Two, not all speech is good speech. But I also look at the fact that we don't have to be protected from being offended. Now, I also say this. We need to be careful with what we say because people will listen. If you're familiar with the musical Into the Woods, there's a song that says, "Be careful what you say, children will listen." And in this case, though not children, these are grown people, be careful what you say, people will listen and hang on the words that you use. Now, as I've said earlier, various YouTubers have weighed in on this situation. They've come to the conclusion that ultimately, if one wishes to have free speech, they would need their own spaces which they finance and maintain. Now, I would say this could happen if people put up money to do it and if they were willing to do the work. The black community, unfortunately, does, or the black collective, or the black amalgam, I've heard various phrases thrown there. We have a learned helplessness. We sort of have a dollar store mentality where we are not willing to sort of put our money where our mouth is. Excuse me. I didn't realize that was on my mouth there. But anyway, we sort of don't think of trying to go into business for ourselves, and we do have this dollar store mentality. I may touch upon that in another video. So I would like to say that we need to let this be a cautionary tale. Be careful who you do battle with. Be careful who you come for. Because ultimately, they could be connected. You think you're dealing with a chihuahua, but you're really dealing with a wolf. So, in the social media, in disagreement, we can keep it civil, we can keep it respectful, but we don't have to get to harassing if that is what happened. Because I realize, like anything else, there are three sides to every story. There's your side, there's my side, and then there's the truth. So, between that Mr. Obsidian, Brother Obsidian, and between the good sister who's the lawyer, we really don't know what went down for that to happen. But I think it sort of caused a sort of shockwave through the so-called black sector of YouTube. And I think to cover ourselves, male and female, but mostly the guys, it is best to talk about what people do collectively or generally than individuals, because the moment you get to individuals or you say anybody's name, it can backfire on you. I would also like to caution those that may get joy out of flagging people's videos if we're on the flagging campaign. that same censorship, as one YouTuber, you all know him as the dude you love to hate. He basically said, be careful with the censorship, because that same sword you use, or that same hammer you use to censor that other side, the opposition, so to speak, that same hammer and that same sword can be used on you at a later date. So that's something I 100% totally co-sign. Well, that's my 2 cents on the subject. Thank you all for listening and tuning in. Peace and be well.